You can do one Mumbai, you can do Kolkata.
2-1-0. 139 mortars.
This man is a horrible man. He must be shunned.
At your command.
Our job is to hit the target, not to count the bodyguard.
बहुत कुछ चल रहा है सर राइट नाउ लॉट ऑफ एक्टिविटी गोइंग ऑन इन ईरान लॉट ऑफ एक्टिविटी हैपनिंग इन द मिडिल ईस्ट प्लीज टेल अस क्या हो रहा है
I think Trump is a good entertainer and he keeps us busy with the news which he gives. So many things are happening if you see in the geopolitics. First of all, Trump is trying to again put his pressure on Greenland. And even, the Dutch Prime Minister, and they are saying, if you want to take it, just do whatever you want. You already had a base there. You can have more troops. We cannot stop you. But don't advertise that you're taking it, right? So that is what one thing is happening. And if you see in Canada, he always keeps calling him Governor Charniko. And this guy Charni goes to Davos and says, this is US hegemony and this is not right. And people who are strong, they are trying to keep our independence. Usko jaake, once he comes back, it is said, he actually apologized. He said, no, I did not apologize. So if you see, the entire NATO countries are breaking out. And the NATO chief, I forgot his name. What is his name?
Mark Rutte and
he's from
yes.
Netherlands. And he says Pump is our daddy because he knows if NATO goes, he'll lose his job. And this is the video where, the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, is just laughing when a journalist asks, NATO chief has said that you are the daddy. And we cannot see Trump's reaction. So what I'm trying to say, NATO is breaking up. And since NATO is breaking up, NATO chief, they are worried how, because it was a business. NATO was a big business, arms deal and everything. Trump was overconfident in NATO ka deal hoga. No, NATO will increase the defense budget 5% to 10%. So kar bhi rahe. European Union has realized with this Greenland incident, Trump's thing, that NATO will not work, and we as a European Union have to stay independent, have our own defense forces. Now Germany is getting its defense forces increased, defense budget. Same for France. And Trump, what he had done, he thought कि देखो जापान का मैंने कर दिया एक settlement. जापान ने अपने पार्लियामेंट में पास ही नहीं किया because it will create more problems for Japan with the tariffs. Basically, Trump wanted Japan to invest money in US. So no country will do it. Na? Trump is behaving like a dada. South Korea का भी deal नहीं हुआ. तो effectively, what has deal? अच्छा, Venezuela में the latest is that he tells the vice president जिसको उसने set किया, Rodriguez को, that every month you'll send your budget and we'll approve it. As it is, Venezuela has become a state within the federal structure. So all these things are happening. What are your views? What do you feel on that?
I think this is part of the new world order that we are seeing, that everything is changing, and all of the people who once thought that, oh, actually we are allies, so we are moving from allies to strategic partners. I think this is the biggest narrative that is going on.
You mean to that Indian you
Everybody, so everybody is going along those lines, in my opinion, because if you look at it, even people like who are in NATO, let's say the United Kingdom, or people who are in the EU, like Denmark is there, other nations are there. So all of these other nations, all of these other nations are suddenly realizing that now, because the United States no longer wants to pay for their security, it has to be a situation where it is no longer a given for that somebody is going to take care of something, or somebody is going to always be there.
What has happened over the years from the third world countries, they used to see Africa se exploit kiya, India se exploit kiya. They had money for last since World War II. They have been not spending anything on defense. Post World War II, all defense things were given to US. US was earning through its defense industry, and they were spending money on things like better roads, better infrastructure, happiness, social such packages. Now they have realized that they had put everything of defense on US. Russia से भी US ने बचाना है, Ukraine, US had done it, and Europe was thinking Ukraine के through आ जाएगा. Ukraine भी, you'll be surprised to know that European countries now said we don't want to support Ukraine, and Ukraine Zelensky is abusing the European Union leaders. क्या, how can you not? Because उसको तो आदत होगी पैसे मिलने की, and he's doing all the fraud what comes in the newspapers and news. Now Russia is keeping quiet. China is also keeping quiet. अब हुआ क्या? European Union with 27 countries, they have realized that we cannot depend solely on US, and we should have our own budget. And that is why this mother of all deals, which has happened, Ursula von der Leyen has come as a chief guest in Republic Day parade. So Modi, if you see our country, he is very tactically or strategically, I should say, that got the deals done. And whatever products we were sending to US, where Trump had put 50%, 100%, उसका जब मन हर हफ्ता कुछ बढ़ा देता 200%, 500%. Now we are not sending it to US because it is not logical and not beneficial. So all these items will be on free trade agreement, and the consumption will be there in Europe. Secondly, the advantage is that the Europe का क्या फायदा है कि all the cars, costlier cars, 20 lakh के ऊपर, I think so, what the government is planning, higher end cars, उनका जो 140, 150% था वो 40 हो जाएगा, उसका 10 हो जाएगा. Those cars will be cheaper in India. So a free trade agreement between EU and India, even that trade agreement is biased towards India, but you want to go ahead with it because it knows the future is there. चाइना पे आप कितना भरोसा, चाइना की इकोनॉमी अपने आप डाउन हो गई है. India is the future, and it also realizes to put Russia on check. It is better to align with India, which is still a stable country, not to right, right wing अगर मैं कहूँ like China and Russia, and India can handle Russia in turn China. So रशिया को अगर कंट्रोल करना है, इंडिया से दोस्ती कर लो, इंडिया से डील कर लो, बिकॉज़ इंडिया का इंटरेस्ट अगर रहेगा यूरोप, then India will try and pursue Russia. So it's just a assumption, it's a long haul which we are thinking that EU को लगता है यूएस पे भरोसा नहीं कर सकते. इस बार आफ्टर ट्रम्प कमिंग एवरीबॉडी रियलाइज कि यूएस पे भरोसा नहीं कर सकते. इवन अफगानिस्तान पुल आउट द वे इट हैपेंड बाइडेन के टाइम पे. माने यूके ट्रूप्स हैड टू बी विथड्रॉन इमीडिएटली कि आप खाली करो, जल्दी से भागो, राइट? विद कतर गेटिंग इनटू इट. एंड ट्रम्प हैज आल्सो नाउ कमेंटेड कि ये तो यूएस सोल्जर्स आगे रहते हैं, यूके फ्रांस वाले तो लड़ते नहीं. इवन दे हैड सो मेनी कैजुअल्टीज. यूएस जहां बोलता था यूके फ्रांस इनके ट्रूप्स अपने आप दे हैड टू गो बिकॉज़ इट यूएस यूज्ड टू डिसाइड कि कहां लड़ाई करनी, कहां नहीं करनी. Now, after this, they have said they have realized कि यार US पे पूरा भरोसा नहीं कर सकते. We cannot put all our eggs in one basket. So now they are diverting from US and concentrating on India, which is the emerging economy. And in turn, they feel that Russia and China, they will be much better taken care of. So that is a win-win for India and a guarantee for EU कि we don't have to depend on US solely, and slowly we'll also be part of this developing bandwagon of Russia, India, China.
In fact, like all of these military stories are coming together to the same fact that everybody is, like I said, going towards their strategic partnerships or strategic alliances. In the same way, the United States is, in my opinion, trying to exert its own power in its own way, in its own Trumpian style, unique way. Let's put it that way.
हाँ, exert कर रहा है, किसको exert कर? You tell me now, who is
Yes.
listening to? उसका पड़ोसी Canada is only not listening. He's saying कि यार
Yes.
Davos में तो बेइज्जती करा दिया इसका, Trump का.
Yes, yes. So in
rebelled against Trump.
Yes. So in this specific way, right? So then they are trying to bully Iran also a little bit here and there.
Now Iran's case is different. We'll discuss Iran different. See, you and NATO, Greenland, वेनेजुएला पे देखो ट्रम्प क्या कर रहा है. वेनेजुएला छोटे मोटे को, क्योंकि उसी का स्टूज बैठा दिया है रॉड्रिगेज वाइस प्रेसिडेंट को, उसी के थ्रू उसने सब कुछ कराया. एंड नाउ वेनेजुएला का सारे ऑयल बेसिकली ऑयल के लिए था, ड्रग्स इन, अब सारा कंट्रोल ऑफ वेनेजुएला इज डन बाय ट्रम्प. So he feels that, see, I have achieved a lot, right? But Iran में it's a different ball game because, see, they want to remove Khamenei. अभी उनको ये लगता है लास्ट एनरिचमेंट काफी हाई है. The aircraft carrier, I think it is the USS. I'm just forgetting the name.
It is the USS Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln. So from South China Sea, it has reached now. Finally, जो last हम podcast में बात कर रहे थे, it has reached the Arabian Sea. Now it is in such a location where it is not very close to Iran, but it is far away, so that the Iran missiles. Now Iran का ये बोलता है, the president and the ministries, defense minister, they said that if a US aircraft carrier comes close to us, we'll attack them. We are ready. अब सिचुएशन ये हो गया है कि दे वांट टू डू एवरीथिंग फ्रॉम द एयरक्राफ्ट कैरियर. अब एयरक्राफ्ट कैरियर में फ्रिगेट्स, डिस्ट्रॉयर्स, सबमरीन्स, एवरीथिंग. इट्स अ पैराफेर्नालिया. It's like a city, floating city from where your fighter
Yeah.
aircraft, everything can move, right? 100 fighter aircraft. Your, so it's a naval blockade, if you see. But when to attack
Basically,
will be, yeah. But
yeah,
when to
basically they
attack
are
will be
calling it a
decided
carrier
by
strike group.
carrier strike group.
They are
Yeah,
calling it carrier strike group, basically.
yeah. So it's a carrier strike group. Now, what is also said that not only one aircraft carrier, there are two more which are also steadily coming towards this side. So Mediterranean side se bhi and Arabian Sea wale side se, right? So what is going to happen is IDF will take a call when to go for the strikes. और वो वैसे ही करेगा जैसे इराक को किया था. But Iraq was a different ball game because Iraq में the defense forces were not so strong enough to counter the US का might. But Iran has a huge set of ballistic missiles, okay, supersonic missiles. So what I'm trying to say, the missile systems are too strong, and they can attack. वो अपना सारे bases in Iraq. So Iran won't take it easily. It will fight back. And the biggest lacuna or vulnerability of US troops is they don't want to put boots on ground. They are dependent on IDF. IDF के अपने moles है, Mossad is there.
Zero casualties. I don't think
No
they have
body
the
bags
appetite.
because
Huh.
they don't want any body bags. So point is that if you don't want body bags, but how do you capture cases? उनको लगता है Khamenei कहीं कोई तरह से चला जाए. But to remove Khamenei, you have to go. देखो आपने strikes करोगे, आपके fighters उनके IRGC के headquarters में, you know the places. इनका कहाँ the nuclear all your storage systems are there, the missiles. You can attack them. But somebody has to regime change के लिए see. He is a cleric. Saddam Hussein was not a cleric, and they are all Shia dominated. They have a lot of respect for the clerics. Still, there are good proportion of people who support being a religious cleric. Now, to have a regime change, you should have an alternative. Alternative का है. Now you see suddenly that even revolution and वो सारा कुछ entire that rebel groups, you don't find any news because Trump तो बोलता help is coming, but people will not keep rebelling now because so many, it is estimated 15 to 20,000 people have died, and suddenly the news is being covered. Starlink का we discussed last time कि jamming कर दिया. So the situation is that I think US is waiting when the IDF gives a go ahead that we have specific intel कि आप इनके इतने जनरल को खत्म करो, खमेनी को खत्म करो. And Khamenei, if he has to rush to Russia, so those situations he may not because he may be well protected. इनके bombers भी आ गए हैं to attack the underground tunnels and underground जो इनके dens होते हैं of their president and the chief. So it is a situation where US has much to lose. Aim is to change the regime, but point is आपको regime change करने के लिए you need an alternative and you need people to rise up. Physical, Iran is such a vast country with the terrain is such that you cannot literally take your troops इतने strength में, and the Iran defense forces, माने Iranian जो army जो IRGC के under, they are strong army. You cannot take them lightly. Though their aircraft, माने air force contingent is less, but the missile systems are good. So they may also counter the aircraft carrier and the defense paraphernalia.
So I think basically the question is to taco or not to taco.
नहीं तो टैको को अंडू करने के लिए उसने वेनेजुएला पे अटैक करके दिखा दी, सी आई डोंट टैको, मैंने छोटे बच्चे को मार दिया. बट ईरान को कर पाएगा, नहीं कर पाएगा, देयर आर लॉट मेनी थिंग्स. एंड इवन देखो फिजिकली आईडीएफ हैज टू टेक इनटू. सो टिल द टाइम दे आर नॉट श्योर बिकॉज़ लास्ट टाइम बॉम्बिंग करके चले आओगे, व्हाट नेक्स्ट? समबडी हैज टू फिजिकली गो एंड either the uprising should change the regime or the ground forces have to go and capture these places and then do the takeover. वो करने को तैयार नहीं है
And
because they'll be
ergo, it's a very Shakespearean question: to be or not to be is the
to be or
question.
not. Yeah. So I think to be or not to be, but Trump is keen on getting some results so that he can stop. Midterm elections आने वाले हैं सर. So all these factors, basically Trump is, if you find, he's quite isolated. Canada छोड़ गया है, Europe छोड़ गया है. They are very angry with the Indo-EU deal. And India is talking with each of these 27 countries. कि अब deal हमारा between the countries है. It is not EU as such. So he is not happy with the way things are going. Economy is down. Abhi recently aa raha hai that dollar is de-dollarization taking place. Suddenly the markets are going to crash very soon. That is what people are saying. April, May tak. All these things, are actually disturbing. He's not getting the results. He's not getting the, leverage which he wanted. So things are changing, and all good things are happening to India, and Russia and China enjoying quietly. And people are actually, if you see the treasury bills of US, they're all in cashing. Or ये होने से the dollar is going to plunge. So these are so many things which are happening in geopolitics all around.
So I was trying to pull up the US Treasury yields and the kind of the curves are like crazy, like with what it's like spiking like anything. Like if I just open up this one for you, so we can look at it quickly. So in the past 1 year 6 months, like generally it's been hovering. This is the 10-year treasury, but if you just look at the 5 year, it just went up and then it's gone down. So probably some intervention from
They
interested
are
parties
trying
right
to
here.
ensure that people don't sell their treasury,
Yeah, yeah.
certificates, but it will be a barrage of sale orders. Okay, and the treasury is going to reduce because everybody, and that is why you see the surge in gold and silver, because people are
Absolutely.
now the pegging will not be against dollar, it will be against the gold reserves, right? So everybody is buying gold, people are investing, they're selling their treasury bills and buying gold. Gold is rising, even silver is rising because of the industrial requirements, and also as another support for the currency. कि आपको पता है कि डॉलर अगर आज see the price of dollar with India is manipulated. It is still rising, but it will fall down. People are prophesizing 60, 70 or 40 भी तक लोग बोल रहे हैं. But the rate of dollar worldwide with other currencies has reduced drastically, and it is on the lower side. So अगर डॉलर की वैल्यू खत्म हो जाएगी, then all the dynamics and the statistics of trade will change. ऐसे भी 45% of trade is only happening और धीरे-धीरे कम होता जाएगा. So there's a shift. We are seeing a transition from the US, dominated dollar dominated trade and transactions to a more bilateral. और अगर अभी ब्रिक्स का समिट है and they come out with a BRICS alternative, then dollar is down and
So
people in
they're
US.
they're talking about a BRICS pay system. May not
Yes,
be a BRICS currency, but a BRICS pay system so that people who are
like
in the BRICS.
UPI. Yes,
Yes,
like
yes.
UPI, and you can trade between your like if you go to Dubai, you can pay at any shop through your UPI. The rupees given to UPI, it is converted to the इसका UAE का currency, dinar,
Dirham.
if I'm dirham, and then it is paid to the recipient's bank. So this bilateral currency trade changes. So इससे क्या होगा, सारे currency को फायदा होगा. अभी तक क्या होता है, every currency used to get into converted to dollar, फिर dollar से to dirham. अभी direct from rupee to dirham, and other than Swift. So actually, basically, it was a dadagiri. It was manipulation, financial manipulation. Their debt ka handling, printing of money without any base. ये सारा खत्म हो जाएगा and world will be in a better order. जो ये disorder में था अभी.
So I think it's like that particular
And
saying
and
from
all
one
our
of.
friends who are in US, अभी तो ये भी है कि they cannot sell their properties and immediately transfer money. जिनको करना था पहले कर चुके हैं. अभी इतना ज़्यादा I think penal deductions are so high. So it is tough times for people who are in US because they cannot transfer money easily the way it used to happen. Even there are checks on amount withdrawn, and even जो H1B visa वाले भी हैं, temporary visa, once they're going back, they're not allowed. There are lot many changes. It is better to come back to the Asian, continent के countries, Russia, China, India, and all these countries, and start your because the future is here. That is what I should say.
And I think I will summarize our conversation with this particular phrase from Thucydides' History of the Peloponnesian War, where he says that the strong do what they can and the weak must suffer as they should, like something to that effect. So this
Yes.
is the entire gist of what's happening right now, I guess.
So who is strong now?
That's the
The
question.
strong is getting weaker now, and that's why I said the disorder, unipolar world is now getting into more logical and pragmatic multipolar world with each individual country is having its own might and say in the world politics.
Correct. Well, with that, sir, I think we'll end today's session. Thank you for taking another time again. Right?
Yeah, it is always
We'll do
great,
this.
and we'll be happy to get some feedback from the audience. And I hope you keep subscribing and watching this channel.
Thank you, sir. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.